So I broke down the steps for the fungus to spread into 3 easy things. First thing, a tree with rod must be damaged. The second thing, there has to be some kind of transportation of the spores. And the third step, the fungus must enter a healthy tree through a wound. So there are a few things that can damage or wound ohia trees, including hooved animals, people, insects, and extreme weather events. When we're talking about hooved animals, also known as ungulates, we're referring to cows, goats, sheep, and pigs. So these animals can rub their bodies on the bark or strip back the bark, pictured here, and in some cases, we've even seen the ceratocystis fungi sporulate, as you can see pictured there. And we also have these passive environmental samplers pictured here, and they have the ability to oscillate with the wind, and they don't require a battery. So inside the traps, we have a wooden box, and in the wooden box, there's 4 greased slides. And we can take those slides into the lab and look for frass, and also extract the DNA, test for ceratocystis, and also test for viability. Lab, and we've inoculated 3 trees at 3 different sites on the elevation gradient. And we're looking to understand the colonization of the rod trees and also wounds by using sticky traps, the research that we do, and also explaining how the fungi that cause rapidohia death can be spread. So first I want to start by explaining where exactly rod lives in the tree. So
this is up above volcano, and I'll show you a better map in a minute. An area above volcano, what I want you to see in this area, so the light swooshes are the areas that the drone flew. The red dots are trees that are visually symptomatic. There's a blue line there, is a fence line where it says federal, that's Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Fence protected, no ungulates for more than 20 years. State is on the other side, state forest, full of ungulates because it's managed primarily for hunting. Where's the disease? Segue into another project, and I really only have 1 slide for this project, but it's a bit of a complicated slide. This is data that mostly Flint Hughes and his crew. Flint is a forest ecologist with the U.S. Forest Service who's been studying the ohia forest for decades now. That he was looking at, he has hundreds of field plots now across the island looking at incidents of rod. So that's the on-the-ground sampling, what trees have and what don't. He was noticing that in these fenced areas, you have much lower incidence of disease. So he set up side-by-side plots inside and outside fenced areas to look at where you see the disease. That's Volcano Village. I think many of you recognize that. The red circles and orange circles are infected areas. The green circles are sick trees that we did not detect ceratocystis. Either they died from something else or we didn't get it in our sampling. These small purple dots that you see all over are aerial imagery that showed symptoms from the air. Might have been something else, but it looked like rod symptoms. You see the Olala tract there. That is the area in the neighboring tract. That's that part of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, Olala tract, that has been fenced and ungulate-free for over 20 years. You see in every corner of that, you see infected and diseased trees going right up to the edge, and then a few inside. So indicating again that the animals wounding trees are opening the trees to infection, and then the trees getting rapidohia death. Showing us that the unprotected forest is much more susceptible than the protected forest for that. So this is one of half a dozen areas where we have those side-by-side protected, unprotected areas. I'm just showing you for time this 1 slide today. But there are areas across the island where we're seeing this pattern again and again. One of the things that's worse than fencing an area is fencing an area and leaving the animals in. There's even more damage if you fence it and you leave the animals in. But if you fence it and get the animals out, then that protects the forest. So that's the end of Ryan's talk. We can all give Ryan a big round of applause for the great job.
Do you know the 5 important things? What we can do as members of the public even to help curb rapidohia death? And if you need some clues. So really, it's a discussion.
Before. But I must confess, because I'm not familiar enough with this island, we were up at the Palila Discovery Trail, and we were like, well, we don't see any ohia here. So we didn't spray our shoes.